All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker of Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm here with my co-host, fellow realtor and husband, Pat Savani.
How are you this morning, Jackie?
I'm wonderful. We had a really wicked morning, didn't we?
Had one of those. Yeah.
But we're here.
We're here.
We made it. Yes. And sometimes that's
all that counts, right?
Yes.
90% of life is just showing up.
There you go. We have with us, and you are no stranger to the program, Dwayne White, owner of White's Mechanical. Good morning.
Good morning.
And you had quite the morning, too. Yes, you did. I blew up your morning, but thank you for being here.
Not a problem.
We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many exceptional realtors. We have been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for 50 years.
50 years. Wow. During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com, or give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you're at jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab. It's a little tab on the top of the page. We have a webcam at the Dunmore Corners, and we get thousands of hits a month on that camera. It's unbelievable. From all over the world.
Look us up on social media and view our listings. Search the MLS listings and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobilefriendlyjruddy.com, JRUDDY.com. And also we are offering our radio shows on podcasts, all the popular podcast apps. You can find us if you search for the Real Estate Roundtable with Jackie Ruddy. And if you want to, subscribe and give us a rating if you like our shows. It gives me a good idea when people download our shows, what you're interested in hearing about, and it gives me ideas for future topics. So I love it, and it's a good barometer.
Right. Actually, Dwayne is number 2 on the list, isn't he?
Yes, for most downloads. When you came in to do the heating show, this time we're going to do the cooling show. So
we could get number 1.
Yeah, there you go. Something to strive for. And Century 21, the franchise, for 22 consecutive years, has 3 seals of recognition: number 1 leader in brand awareness, most recognized name in real estate, and most respected in the industry. And Century 21, Jack Ruddy Real Estate, received the Quality Service Award for 2020 from Century 21. And that's a real honor, and we're proud of it because it's very hard to achieve. Okay, Dwayne White, owner of White's Mechanical. We're going to talk about cooling today, right? Air conditioning and cooling, and what we need to do to get our systems up and ready, because now's the time to start thinking about it.
That's it.
Hopefully.
Right?
Hopefully the winter is done and the snow is done, right?
Yes, those couple of days last week were beautiful, so got the phone ringing with the air conditioning. But like you said, to get it up and started for the season, the biggest thing is getting preventative maintenance done. Having the unit serviced, changing the filter, getting it cleaned properly so that it operates properly when you need it.
So, nothing worse than, and this has happened to us, than on an 80-degree or hotter day, you turn on your system and it's blowing warm air.
Yeah, nothing's going on. We don't like that.
No.
No.
So you talk about preventative maintenance. Everybody knows you got to clean the filter, take the filter out, clean that. Well, they know it, but do they do it? And God only knows what you find in the filter. But what do you mean preventative maintenance? Are we talking about units that go through the window units, or like one standalone outside, or ductless?
So we're talking more about the central air conditioning units and the ductless split units is what we specialize in. The window air conditioners and the through the wall are more of an appliance. So we don't really get into them too much. But again, for people listening to have them, there are filters in them that you pull out and wash and put back in. So it keeps it running efficiently and doesn't ice up or break down when you need it most.
Okay. Now, we talked about ductless before. A lot of people, they don't know what ductless is. Can you explain a ductless system?
So a ductless system is an air conditioning system that exactly what it says. It has no ductwork with it. So it mounts in the house. It's set up almost like a central unit, but it's more of an open area type of unit, spot cooler, open area. But they also get large enough where they can do, one unit can do a house fairly well. and it helps with the humidity and temperature both. So, and what it is it mounts on the inside of the wall, and then there's a section that mounts outside on the ground. What's nice about that compared to a window unit is you're taking the noise part of it and putting it out by the ground. So when it's running, you don't hear the loud humming and noises that it makes. And not to mention, the efficiency level is so much more with the ductless split compared to a through-the-wall window unit. So
yeah, we used to have the window unit in our house, and when they would turn on, the lights would dim. Boom. When the lights would dim and they'd come back up, it was like, oh, the air conditioner's working. Hope it doesn't pop a fuse.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I used to live in a third floor apartment. I'm surprised one didn't land on the driveway one time, because I used to put them in the windows myself when I was younger, a lot younger.
And that's when I go out to look at jobs and stuff, the biggest reason people are getting ductless splits is because of that reason right there. They don't want to be carrying the window air conditioners up and down steps anymore. They're big and bulky, and they're very heavy. So
living on the third floor, you don't have an attic usually, right? So I had cubby holes to store things. So I'd have to crawl in the cubby hole all the way to the back of the cubby hole, drag it out, and then lift it and put it in. I couldn't do that today. I'd be under the air conditioner.
No, she'd be calling me. She'd say, Pat, put the air conditioner in.
Yeah, but I do. I mean, I have to think about that. I'm very, very fortunate that it didn't land, because, you're trying to do it. You're balancing it, and it's heavy, and you're pushing it, and you're pulling it. So how it didn't go out, I don't know.
Through the window units that we had, they didn't seal very well. And one of the last years that we had it, you're going to like this story. I looked at the curtains, and I was like, what are those things on the curtains? There was about 50 stink bugs that had come in, and they were in the curtain, and they loved to be in the curtain around the window. So after vacuuming
the folds, you didn't see it until you pulled the curtain, as if you were like stretching it.
And you can't squish them because they stink. Yeah. So we had to vacuum them. And after that, I said, get the air conditioner out of the window.
By the next season, we had ductless.
Never, ever a through-the-window unit in our house again.
Because that's how they came in, because we have light siding.
Yeah,
right?
And they were, the things aren't sealed perfectly, so they came right in. And
right.
They says, oh, this is a nice house.
Yeah, right.
And we haven't seen one since.
Don't say that.
Knock on wood.
There we go.
All right, knock on wood.
Yeah, no, they don't seal like you said. So, and that's where you lose the efficiency that I mentioned is with that, because, I mean, if the window's 30 inches wide and the unit's 20 inches wide, there's only like little plastic, like
curtains.
Accordion style and they don't seal properly. And then one of the biggest things with them now is with all the unique styles of windows and the new construction in construction areas, they don't make a window air conditioner that fits in a lot of the windows because they're cranked out or a specialized window they can't put them in. So
ductless has come a long way, from when it first came out to now. And there's so many neat things that you can do. At one time, you could only run the heat if it was what? Not
below 25, right? Okay. The older systems, they lost all their efficiency.
Yeah. And like we mentioned, they do heat and air conditioning again, but like you said, back in the day, they're a heat pump system, and a heat pump system was known for not running below certain temperatures outside. But with the design of them today, I think we have them that go to minus 20 degrees outside, and they'll still put heat in. So that's the option with them. I know they're great for air conditioning, but they also do heating, and they're great for supplement heating, or if you have it in the living room and you don't have to run a big boiler and heat your whole house just to heat up your living room. Where you have it, it makes it a really nice option.
Right. So. One of the advantages of the ductless also is you could have different rooms at different temperatures. Our son, who I think is part Eskimo, because he likes to sleep in the room where it's actually cold when you open the door, and his room is right next to ours. So he has his set at 64. And I always sneak in and turn it up to 66 when he's not looking.
I do too. I thought it was only me.
No, yeah. But my room is not in the 60s, I can guarantee you that. So that's a big plus with those units.
Yeah, definitely great for zoning options. I mean, you can do a lot with them these days. They have specialized units. And not to mention, when you said about they came a long way, they used to be a big box on the side of the wall that was like squared out and kind of different looking. But over the years, they've made them a lot sleeker, a lot more rounded, a lot better on the eyes.
Yeah, and sometimes I could be fooled when I go into a house because I'll say, is that ductless? And they'll say, yeah, but it turns out they don't have the heat option because it's so old. It was just a cooling system.
Yeah, there's not too many of them out there today that come without the heat option with it. So whenever you're bidding it, everybody asks if they can get just the air conditioning one, or not everybody, but
a lot of people
ask because they think that they could save money by just doing the air conditioning, but that's not how it works with them. I mean, between the heat and the air conditioner, there's only like one or two different parts in them that make it where they don't run two lines of them. So I think probably 95% of them anymore have the heat option with them.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And in the long run, I'm sure they're happier about that too. Okay, with us today, Dwayne White, owner of White's Mechanical. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
So our office number is 570-383-2500.
Thank you. 52% of homes for sale are going under contract, sale pending, during the first 2 weeks on the market. And that's the national statistics. So today's buyers are bothered by bidding wars. According to the National Home Builders, 69% of those actively shopping for a home spent up to 3 months searching without success. These buyers, their biggest challenge was not finding an affordable home. Rather, they got outbid. And there's other reasons, too. The home is not in a neighborhood that they wanted, or it didn't have the features that they want. So what will these buyers do for the remainder of 2021? 50% will continue to look in the same area. 38% will expand their search area. 28% might throw in the towel and wait until 2022 to resume looking. 28% might accept a smaller, older, lower-priced home. And 27% may consider higher-priced properties. So, although many consumers are skeptical of agents who say there's another offer on this if you like this house.
That's a selling tactic. That's how many times that's a high-pressure sales tactic. No, it's not. It's a fact. We're not trying to squeeze you.
Yes, and, there's a lot of interest in the inventory out there. So, at one time, and I have to say, are there some agents that may have used that as a tactic in the past? Unfortunately, I have to answer that truthfully and say yes. And there's one broker in particular I would call and say, any other offers, any interest in this? I have somebody that might be thinking about it. Oh, yes, definitely.
And the last show we ever do, we're going to name names.
We're going to name names. Yeah, stick around. But, yeah, so I'd say, well, it's been on the market for 855 days, really? Oh, yes, we have 25 people in line that want to. So, yes, but now when agents say it, it really is truthful. It is factual. We're seeing multiple offers. In fact, a lot of our buyers for in certain price points that can't find a house are part of that 28% that are willing to accept a smaller, lower priced home, and then they'll do add-ons and they'll renovate to their liking. But this is what's going on out there. So believe your agent if they say there's multiple offers and that you have to act fast and give it your strongest and best offer going in. Pat, would you like to review a listing, please?
Yes. We have a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch-style home. It was built in 1997 at 29 Oakwood Drive in Scranton for $195,000. This home, it's in the West Mountain section in the Oakwood Estates development. It's a lovely home. It's in move-in condition. It has a fully finished basement, a 1-car garage, plenty of off-street parking, beautiful landscaping, a good-sized yard, along with a nice screened-in sunroom. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch-style home with a built-in garage at 29 Oakwood Drive in Scranton's West Mountain section for $195,000, and that's listed by Gail Lewis of our office.
Thank you, Pat. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We will be right back.
The talented team of professionals at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. They're not just real estate agents. They're agents of change. They're on a never-ending quest for the best for you and your family. They can help you find precisely what you want at this time in your life. A computer, a website, an app, and a listing by itself can't do that. They're obsessed with better and deliver extraordinary, embracing the what if, not just the what's been done before, with a level of accountability and honesty not found anywhere else in the real estate industry. Don't settle for average, okay, or just all right. This change in your life is monumental, and there's only one Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate that will help you rock that change. Call 570-344-6724 and visit jruddy.com, JRUDDY.com. Each Century 21 office is independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with my husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
And we're back.
We're back with Dwayne White, owner of White's Mechanical. Thank you for coming in last minute for us. You saved the day, Dwayne. I didn't say that before, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we're talking about air conditioning, cooling, and what we need to do to our systems. Now it's springtime, and there's a lot that we should be doing to get them up and operational for the summer warmer days.
Yes. So getting back into the preventative maintenance that we were speaking about earlier, there's a lot more to it. There are things that you can do to keep stuff running properly, and that's changing the filter, of course. I mean, a lot of people can do it from inside the house. Outside units, from keeping the bushes from growing into your unit. So if you can't see your unit probably can't breathe.
Now that's a good point, because you know those units, and I'm one of these people
that want to hide them.
I want to hide it. I think it's ugly. I don't want it. It doesn't blend into the side of the house like our plumber told us it would. It sticks out like a sore thumb. So I thought a nice holly bush would hide it, disguise it. Mm-hmm. But the branches go right into it.
So, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with hiding it or putting some bushes around it or something. Mainly, though, is to keep those bushes from growing into it, keeping a nice little gap. Because, I mean, what it is it's a coil that has a fan on it. And all that fan is doing is circulating air. And so if you have stuff starting to grow over it, well, now it's going to recirculate that air, and the air is not, and it's going to take efficiency away from the unit. So you don't want it growing over it. But growing around it is fine, but as long as you give it a little gap around it, enough that you can get an airflow, walk around it a little bit, because, again, if anything ever happens to it, a service guy has to get into it. So we've had them in the past where you have to, it's like walking through a rainforest to get into them, and that prevents it from being efficient, and it might be the cause that it broke down. So those are a couple of things like that homeowners can do, is change the filter and keep stuff from growing into their condensers. But there's a lot more that we do when we service them as a professional. And one thing with air conditioning is a natural dehumidifier. So it's taking humidity out of the air. So anytime you see an air conditioner, whether it's a window unit, a ductless, a central, there's always water involved in it somehow. And because what you're doing is you're cooling down the air and it's pulling that humidity out, so there's a drain. One of the biggest things with the central unit is if you get a blocked drain or a broken drain or a corroded drain or something like that, and the unit's in the attic, it's going to ruin ceilings or something. So, I mean, that's where it's important. If the unit's in the basement and the drain clogs up, you get some water on a concrete floor, not really a big issue, but a lot of central air conditioning units are in attics, and if you have a bad drain, it's going to back up, and that water is going to start leaking on your ceiling. You're not going to notice it until it starts coming through the ceiling, though. So it could be leaking for days or weeks even depending on temperatures outside and humidity levels and stuff. So that's the biggest concern with the air conditioning are the drains. You just want to make sure they're properly cleaned out, properly set up where if they do fail, you have some kind of shut-off switch or something to make sure that the unit shuts off. That's telling you that you have an issue with your air conditioning. You should call a professional service guy. Some of the other things with preventive maintenance that we do is we also look at the wiring, the motors, check over all that stuff and make sure everything is safe. Because, again, you don't want it breaking down when it's 95 degrees outside. So that's where the preventative maintenance comes in. Not saying it's going to break down, but it could. And it's only going to break down when you really need it.
Sure.
So.
Right. And then you get the call and...
Yep, and then if it's 95 degrees outside, we probably have about 30 to 40 calls along with that one. So it makes it a little tough, especially first really hot weeks of summer. Air conditioning guys are running around pretty good.
Sure you are.
Yeah.
And then you're going into these hot attics on a 95-degree day trying to figure out.
Yes.
So, wow.
And my service techs, great guys, hard workers. But it still takes them longer to get a service call done when it's 150 degrees in an attic compared to this time of year when it's 80. Because even on a 30-degree day, the dark shingles and the sun on the houses, it's still warm in an attic where it's comfortable to work. But then you get into the later summer where it's uncomfortable to work. It takes twice as long to try
I wouldn't even be able to think under those conditions. I don't know. And then passing out or whatever, So, wow, yeah, that's not fun.
No.
What else do we need to do? So it's not just about changing a filter, although that's very, very important. It's not just changing a filter and calling it a day. What else should we think about?
So with the preventative maintenance, also what we do is, especially in a more commercial area, you have a lot of street traffic, a lot of dust, a lot of dirt. So when your air conditioner is running outside and that fan sucking up the air, it's pulling that dirt into the unit. So when we do them, we use a chemical cleaner that lifts the dirt off the coils, because an air conditioner, a condensing unit sitting outside is like a car radiator. It gets hot and the fan's pulling through it. So all that dirt and debris and stuff is blocking up the coil and stuff. And the biggest thing is with the unit is it takes the life away from the unit if it's not cleaned properly. So, I've seen them. We've put them in. 5 years later, the compressor goes. The people don't understand why their compressor went. Then you pull the cover off and you see that they've never had it cleaned since they put it in, and that would be why. Where we have houses that we put them in 20 years ago, we clean them every year, and the things work like the day we put them in. So, again, it's where preventative maintenance helps.
Prolongs the life of the unit, and it's so important.
Yes. Yep.
Just to spend that couple $100 every year to bring you out to service a system, it could save thousands of dollars.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yep.
Dwayne White, owner of White's Mechanical. So how does someone get in touch with you, please?
Our phone number at the office is 570-383-2500.
And you guys, you service the whole area? How far do you go?
So yeah, we have a pretty good radius that we do. Most of ours is local here, Scranton areas, Dunmore, Clark Summit, but we travel. We're out the Tunkhannock area where we have some things down toward the Stroudsburg area, depending on what you have and stuff. And the best thing to do is call the office and talk to the girls and see if it's beneficial for us to come out to do it. If it's too far away, we might recommend you to somebody in that area where it's more cost effective for you to use that company instead of us. But
okay.
Since ductless units are gaining popularity and a lot of people are considering them, I think last time you were here, you might have told us, but I want to ask the question again. New construction, what are you seeing in new homes being built? Are they just doing central air? Are they doing ductless? And what's your preference as a cooling specialist?
So most of our new construction are central heating and air conditioning systems. So I would say probably 99% of houses we do have a warm air furnace with air conditioning, because now you have both. If you get into doing radiant floors or something like that, then you have to add an air conditioning system. So you really have a heating system and then an air conditioning system. So, and then other houses, the hot water baseboard isn't as popular anymore, where once in a while we'll do a house that has hot water baseboard and they'll put a ductless split in. So I like central air myself. I like ductless splits. They all have a purpose. You know, if you're going to get into too many zoning ductless splits in your house, sometimes it's almost worth doing central air. You don't have the ability to have different temperatures in rooms, but you're cooling the whole house as one. So it's the whole house is comfortable, you know.
That wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
she likes it warm.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's, everybody has a different preference like that, you know, and, you know, where, like I said, if you're going to do that, it might cost a little more to do it that way, and if that's the way you want it, they will accommodate your needs. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but, you know, a lot of homes are people want cooling, and they don't want to do the window air conditioning for the reason we stated in the first half of the show. They're cumbersome, you know, you don't want to be lugging it. You get older, you can't be doing it. So a lot of the older homes, they can't accommodate central air.
Correct. Yes.
Right. So the ductless would be the way to go.
Yeah. And when even newer homes, older homes, if you have a finished basement and you have a ranch with high ceilings and you don't have attic space, you don't really have anywhere to put an air conditioning system, because with a central system, you have to run the ductwork. So that's where the ductless splits come in handy for situations like that, where you really don't have the accessibility to run central air.
So you're talking about, you know, a lot of the preventative things that you do as a specialist. What about cleaning the actual air ducts? Is that important? Because there could be things like dust or even mold that can build up.
Yeah. I mean, we don't do duct cleanings, but there are a couple companies in the area that do. But, I mean, really, as long as you keep your filter cleaned, stuff like, you know, on a regular time frame. And, I mean, one of the worst things that I ever do see is somebody will pull their filter out, throw it off to the side, say they're going to pick one up. And then 3 years later, we go pull the unit apart, and all that dust that should have been catching in a filter is through your whole system. So, I mean, there are situations for duct cleanings. I mean, you don't need to build a new house and a year later or even 5 years later get the ducts cleaned. Now, if you did like bought an older house and fixed it up and did or a retrofit where you have a lot of sheetrock dust, a lot of dirty, dusty, even that way, then it's good to get the ducts cleaned and stuff. Again, it's all in preference with that.
Well, I'm sure you see it all, and I'm sure if you see it when you're doing your thing, you probably mention it to the homeowner. It would be a good idea to do this,
correct.
That, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because if you get too much, any molds or anything like that, usually it's because it's installed improperly.
Oh.
It's not because it's not doing its job right.
Great
or whatever.
point.
You know, usually if you have mold and duct, something's going on where you're not removing the right humidity or something's not draining right or something. Because the only time you could get mold possibly is in a coil where the moisture is, but you need the mold spores to be able to grow the mold, you know, so.
Good stuff. Dwayne White, owner of White's Mechanical. Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate your time. Before we go, there's data out there that suggests, now this is national, shifts in consumer activity. Homeowners are staying in their homes longer. Did you know that?
Yes, I did. I know it firsthand.
Okay. They're now staying in their home 10 years, and that's up from 7 years back in 1987. And I was surprised by that. I thought it was less, because it seems to us that no sooner are we selling a house than we get the call we want to sell. So that's amazing to me. We'd like to wish our listeners a very happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter, everyone.
Remember to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker.